I'm shaking. The wind is blowing. I hate this. My mother would kill me. Perdóname, mommy.
Welcome back to another Budgeteers Bitesize.
Now, don't worry. This isn't going to be one of those videos where we talk about all the beautiful beaches we've been to these last 4 weeks on this amazing road trip around Sri Lanka.
Today we bring you our top 12 hidden gems of Sri Lanka that we found during our 6-week road trip around the entire island. Most of the places on this list we had never heard of when we were doing our research, so hopefully you can use this as a way of finding some unique places, soak up more of the real Sri Lankan culture, and avoid some of the more overhyped and overrated must-see places such as the Kandy to Ella train, the Temple of the Tooth, and Sigiriya.
So this is backfire.
As you can see, this is not a secret spot. So yeah, this bite size is going to be really useful for you if you're thinking of coming to Sri Lanka. So grab your flip-flops and your beach towel and we'll see you on the beach after the intro.
Just before we get into this awesome list, we want to take a minute to tell you about this episode's sponsor, XPLO. It's a brand new immersive platform to help you discover the world, share your footprints with the world, and get involved with its unique location-based chat rooms to share your moments and experiences with other travelers. You can explore the world with its stylish map interface and find all the places you never knew about from other travelers. You can chat. Everywhere you go has chat rooms unique to your location. So jump into any chat room and start making friends. There's events. Events are always happening around the world, and now you can make sure you don't miss them. Whether that's music festivals or cultural events, they got you covered. And you can leave footprints. Post about the places you visit so you can look back and remember your past travels. XPLO is available to download for free in the App Store today. Okay, first on our list is Mt.Lavina Beach. This stunning little beach is set just south of the city of Colombo in the suburb town of Mt.Lavina. Home to a large 5-star hotel that used to be home to the British consulate, this beach also has a gorgeous train station, a cute little town, and a really nice hostel in the form of island hostels. We spent a good 4 nights here, and not only did it have a really fun backpacking vibe, but the beach itself is really stunning. People will tell you to leave Colombo as fast as you can to see the more scenic parts of the island, but we were really surprised by this quiet part of the city, and we really do think that Mt.Lavina Beach is a massive hidden gem within the biggest city in Sri Lanka. Number 2 is the Knuckles Mountains. These stunning mountains can be found in the center of the island and are very much less traveled than many parts of the island. We spent 2 nights here exploring the treks and trails that lead through and up the gorgeous plains that burst with wildlife. This part of Sri Lanka is also home to some unique and extremely rare species, and the whole time we were there, we learned so much from our awesome guide.
It feels funny.
Feels super funny.
If you want to learn more about our time in the Knuckles and any other place on this list for that matter, we will link each episode from our bigger Sri Lankan series below. So if you want to research more about the Knuckles and any other place on this list, please feel free to immerse yourself in our epic travel series. Number 3 is Hiriketiya Beach. This was our beach of choice, and we spent the last 10 days of our trip at this beach. It has the perfect blend of local Sri Lankan village life with more Western comforts and restaurants. The beach is tiny and hidden down some sandy paths, and the seasoned Sri Lankan visitors that live here are desperately trying to keep this place a secret, and it's for good reason. The swells are perfect for beginner surfing, and the sands are white, the beers are cold, and the whole beach has a really relaxing and peaceful atmosphere. Number 4 is the temple on the cliffs of Trincomalee. This temple, which I really don't want to try to pronounce, is perched on the most ragged rocks on the coastline and gives an amazing view back down towards Trincomalee and the Indian Ocean. This Hindu temple is alive with colour, ceremonies, and burning incense. It's also surrounded by grazing deer, foraging monkeys, and flocks of black crows. This was one of the most beautiful temples we saw on the whole island, and somewhere we really recommend you come and check out. Number 5 is Jungle Beach. This beach we saw from the neighbouring town of Galle. We could see from afar that it looked gorgeous and seemingly deserted. However, when we drove over and found the path that led down to the beach, we did see that there is in fact a few restaurants and bars selling refreshments.
We thought this was going to be secluded, but there are a few shops over here, a few people selling stuff.
So it might not be totally pristine, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's stunningly beautiful and somewhere you can certainly come and enjoy a quiet beach day away from the crowds over at the Galle city centre. Number 6 is Oliphant Tea Plantation. This is the highest tea plantation in Nuwara area and arguably the most beautiful. You will want to explore the tea plantations when you come to Sri Lanka, and you might think that the highest plantation would be the most visited, but actually you would be wrong. We drove up there, parked our tuk-tuk, and we only found a few other villagers and tea pickers who were at work, and they invited us to explore, and we spent a good few hours pushing through the thorny bushes in the hunt for the best lookout points. Number 7 is the East Coast. This region of Sri Lanka was completely unknown to us, and we expected to just drive through it on our way up to Jaffna, the largest city in the north. However, we found rich cultural history here, and we were able to see better than anywhere on the island the real Sri Lankan way of life. Okay, it's nearly the time. These guys have nearly finished dragging it in. We also got to drive through a national park for free, and if we had waited a few hours more, then we might have seen wild elephants. However, because we drove through during the hottest part of the day, most of the wild animals were seeking refuge away from sight. But don't overlook the east coast of Sri Lanka, guys, especially if you're looking for a more local adventure. Number 8 is the White Buddha in Kandy. Kandy is packed with touristy things to do and see, and we were drawn to a few of them, most notably the Temple of the Tooth. However, we didn't really have the best experience there, and in the afternoon we were really trying to find a place to escape the crowds and enjoy a nice view of this gorgeous city. Luckily, the White Buddha statue towering over the city was the perfect choice. It was very cheap to enter, and we were one of only about a dozen other people there, and we got to enjoy learning about Buddha's life and taking in a gorgeous sunset together. And this is actually inside the Buddha statue. You can come in here, and there are these amazing wall murals etched in stone, and the history of the Buddha's life. It's incredible. Number 9 is Turtle Bay.
There is a life I lead in this city.
Turtle Bay is actually right bang in the middle between Marissa and Coconut Tree Hill, two of Sri Lanka's most popular destinations. However, this tiny little bay is very overlooked as it's so small and seemingly just another little bay along the coast. However, there is an awesome little restaurant here with hammocks, cold beers, and the best part, as the name suggests, is the grazing turtles that frequent this bay all day long. We jumped in and found these gorgeous animals almost instantly, and it was such a great afternoon in this gorgeous little beach.
I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on, put me together.
Number 10 is Jaffna. This city in the north of the country was somewhere we knew would be less visited because tourism hasn't really had much time to develop here thanks to the civil war that raged here until just over 10 years ago. However, there is so much history here, and exploring the marshlands of Jaffna in our tuk-tuk still remains one of the highlights for all of us from our entire trip on the island. Tys and Lena have swapped driving because it's a bit scary, and Tys has got experience driving on the crappy road when we drove through the national park the other day. Woohoo! Oh, this is exactly why we came up north. Number 11 is Hiriketiya Beach. This beach can be found on the touristy south coast, but it really is a gorgeous little spot. There are only a few little cheap places to get food, and the surfing is really great, especially for beginners who want to learn on soft, sandy banks. Grabbing beers from the wine shop across the street and enjoying sunsets at Hiriketiya is the perfect way to spend an evening in Sri Lanka, and we were lucky enough to watch the sun sink into the ocean in a glorious blaze of colour more than once. Hiriketiya Beach, guys, don't forget this one. Number 12 is the crazy white tower. This structure is still something we cannot wrap our heads around, and I won't try to pronounce this one either. This building has imagery from all major religions of Sri Lanka, and so it seems to be built to celebrate all of the people on the island and their beliefs. And apart from being a sight to behold and having amazing views of the Sri Lankan highlands, this tower also has a challenging element to it. Wrapping itself around the spire at the top, there is a tiny spiraling staircase that only the most brave people can summit.
Wait, outside there?
Yes, come on.
No, I'm skipping that.
No.
You can't see through the stairs.
There's a gap in the stairs.
I don't trust this stuff. Look, there's gaps
There are
everywhere.
gaps in the stairs.
Staying.
No, Thais, there's
I'm
mucho más.
staying near
No, you're not.
the concrete.
No, Thais,
Those
you're
things,
not.
not
Thais,
safe.
vamos.
Clearly, only one of us made it to the top, and so if you come here and if you make it to the top, please let us know. Tag us in a selfie on Instagram. We are at the Budgeteers. We would love to know how many of you are brave enough to make it to the top, just like Lena did. Again, if you want to learn more about each of the places on this list, or you just want to learn more about what traveling in Sri Lanka is really like, please head to our channel and watch the entire series. Each location on this list will be linked below, as I've said, so please feel free to enjoy more of the footage from each of these hidden gems. Thanks again for watching this Budgeteers Bitesize. We hope to see you again in another installment very soon. Safe travels, and thanks again for watching.